I'm working on the 1880s Edmund Valentine parlor guitar. Once the bridge plate had been replaced, the top patched, and the fingerboard removed, I moved on to the finish. One of the few good things about the last repair attempt was they didn't use anything too modern for the finish. Had they used polyurethane, things would have been a lot more complicated. But instead, they tried to French polish it, which is just shellac and easily removable. All you need to strip shellac is alcohol. I spent many hours with alcohol-soaked cloths trying to just even out the finish, but in the end, the only way to get it even mostly even was to remove all the shellac from the top and from the approximately 40% of the sides which had also been French polished. Thankfully, this left a thin enough coat of shellac to provide a good enough base for me to build up a shellac finish. This was very important because of the amount of sanding which had been done. Up to this point, I was still hoping not to reset the neck, but that was proven optimistic. The previous attempt at a neck reset had left the neck proud of the body, and it was simply not going to work. Once I had removed the neck, using heat from these wire foam cutters, which are small enough the fret completely covers the hole required, I looked to reinforce the neck, as it was quite thin and had no reinforcement. It simply was not going to be able to resist the pull of steel strings. There wasn't a good way to add an adjustable truss rod, so instead I went with a square carbon fiber rod. The slot for the rod was done using one of my favorite types of jigs. You simply put a straight fence on a flat board and use the router and router bit you plan to use for your cut to route a slot in the board. You can then easily line up your cut by placing the edge of the slot with the edge of your intended cut. The clamps do get in the way, but you can use a third clamp to move the clamps along piggyback style and allow you access to the entire cut. The carbon fiber rod is then glued in with epoxy. One of the very interesting aspects of this guitar is the tuners. I had initially mistaken them for a type of locking tuner, but they are, in fact, quick turn tuners. The idea is that when you are restringing the guitar, once you have the tension off the tuner, you can disengage the gear from the worm and spin the shaft quite quickly to get the string wound off and then back on to the tuner. I don't know a whole lot about them, but I did find their European patent number listed from sometime in the 1880s. This, along with the history of the original reseller, is what I am using to date the guitar. My customer and I had discussed replacing the tuners, but unfortunately, modern-day standards for tuner spacing were not so standardized in the 1880s. The condition of the tuners is fairly precarious, but finding a replacement tuner would require something bespoke, and custom-spaced 3-on-a-plate tuners are extremely expensive. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment with any questions about my work. We have t-shirts on the website and do same-day setups on Saturdays. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and enjoy your guitar.